to the show. I hope everyone's doing well. I know it's a crazy few days, but I did put up a video about all the goings on, so I hope you guys got to see that. And I'm wearing my Janis shirt. I know you can't see. Let me move my hair, and then maybe you can see it. See, I got my Janis shirt on. So I'm gonna go to just talking a little bit about Janis Joplin. This is who we're talking to tonight. And I can't wait because I bet she has a lot to say, knowing this lady. Okay, so Janis Joplin was an American singer and songwriter known for her powerful mezzo-soprano vocals and electrifying stage presence. Joplin's big break came in 1967 at the Monterey Pop Festival, where she performed with her band Big Brother and the Holding Company. Her emotional wail and captivating stage presence made her a West Coast sensation. Joplin's personal life was marked by drugs and alcohol, addiction, and volatile relationships. And she was born January 19th, 1943. She passed away at 27, October 4th, 1970. Okay, so that is Janis, and I'm going to show you a picture of what she looks like in my mind's eye. And this is the closest thing I could find to it. It's a little blurry, but she came in and said hi. And she has not been around all day. So I was like, is she going to show up? And yet she's here. She's sitting on the bed. That's what she told me. So she's here. She's just kind of, does her own thing. That's good. So that's what she looks like to me. And there's a real youthfulness, a softness to her that I felt like wasn't part of her countenance when she was here. And I think part of that was because by the time we all knew of her, she was already kind of steeped in a lot of alcohol and drugs and that kind of thing. And because she always had kind of a hard look to me, but she looks so soft. And that's why I was like, it's just, but of course she does. I mean, she's a spirit. She's not, doesn't have those issues. She doesn't have a physical body, right? So it's very different. She also has a man with her who is her age. They both look young. They almost look like late teenagers or maybe early 20s. I don't know who it is, and she's not saying who it is, but there's a man with her, and I feel like a kind of a soulmate kind of connection or just a love connection between them. So I'm going to leave that there, but there is a man with her, and nothing is off the table. She said, and I said, usually I'll just, if there's something you don't want to answer, just don't answer, and I'll just move on. And so she said, okay. And what else? My personal connection with Janis Joplin is that, so I grew up in the Bay Area, and I'm still in the Bay Area, but I grew up in the Bay Area, and during 1960. 86, 87, 88. They had this big thing in Haight-Ashbury, San Francisco, and it's just like a bunch of hippies there, and they were doing a 20-year anniversary of Haight-Ashbury. And so they had all this cool stuff and cool clothes and just stuff you could not get where we were. We were in Hicktown, USA. We couldn't get anything like that. So we all, we go there plan and go there every weekend, and we buy piece necklaces and just stuff that, now you can get it anywhere, but at the time you really couldn't, and at least not anymore. So I got my John Lennon glasses, and that is when I started to listen to a lot of, I was listening, but that's when I really got into Janis Joplin and Jimi Hendrix and the Doors. so just so into all of the fashion and everything. And as Adam says, you were so cool because I was listening to soundtracks. And I'm like, yeah, that was pretty cool. So he was listening to the soundtrack of Mannequin. So that's how uncool he was. And that's how cool that I was. So anyway, so let's chat to Janis and let's go to the first question. Oh, I showed you the picture. She is wearing almost what looks like a wrap dress, but it looks kind of like a robe. It has like, it's kind of crossed in the center. It's kind of flowing down. So it kind of like almost like a robe. Okay. Okay, Craig. I know you faced so much bullying as a child, young women, for simply being different. Can you tell us how to protect and strengthen our belief in self? Okay. So you want to take that question? She's like, you just got to be you, man. You just got to be you. I was who I was. I didn't know how to be anything different. I just was what I was. I was quiet. I painted. I loved writing. I was heavily against segregation. That's what really flipped him out. But I was just me. I'd be lying if I tried to be somebody else. And I didn't want to be who they wanted me to be. No way. But I did suffer, but it paid off, man. People I think it's like ultimately or in the end, people respect and admire authenticity. But it did leave scars. And I had a hard time understanding the reasons people could hate. It didn't make sense. But I was strong. Yeah. Okay. I answered that question. I just always hope it answers the question. I just kind of go into a different mode and I just hope the question is answered. Dear Janis, how would you describe your soul's purpose in your lifetime? And did you accomplish what you set out to do? God bless you all. I was an artist, a deep thinker. I could see a lot of layers to things. So a poet, a painter, an artist, a singer. I came here to spread magic, help people see what they could create if they let themselves go, if they let themselves do it, if they moved fully into who they really are. They could do it too. It wouldn't be the same as me, but it would be their thing. Art and creativity. It's also what saved me in many ways, in my darkest moments. Art and creativity. I also think that my life had like a, how do you say that? It had edges or tinged. It was tinged or edged with a cautionary tale about trauma and abusing your body to try to escape that. So it had so it was almost like it was a life of light tinged with some darkness, right? So that's kind of how she's. That's why I'm like, how do I put that into words? I guess that's what it is. Okay. Janis, were you a singer artist in a previous life? Not a singer. This was new for me, but I sing a lot here, meaning in the afterlife. So she sang a lot. I guess she learned to sing and then kind of brought it with her, is the way I'm interpreting that. In many, in other lifetimes, not many, other lifetimes, I was an activist, a speaker. I use my voice for other purposes, but always to invoke change or make people think or cause cause a disturbance, cause a ruckus, kind of. So I had used my voice, but not as a singer. This was new, and I loved it. Loved it. It was such a fun way to express my heartache and my feelings, and other people's heartache and other people's feelings too. So, okay. Janis, artists today struggle so much to make a living due to corporate greed. Do you see any improvements coming in the future for artists? She's like, it's a bummer, man. But it's so funny. It sounds just, I mean, it's just her. It's a bummer, man. It's how it, but when I relate to this, in the 60s, it was, we did live hand to mouth and perform for each other. It was very different. Yeah, you would get signed, and that was a big deal. That was a big deal. But there was also but there's also artists that were shunned, I want to say shunned or pushed out or for selling out. And you don't really have that now. And you kind of need to go back to that sort of artistic, like integrity. That's what I think she's saying. Being like true to oneself as an artist. But she's saying that you're seeing a lot of independent things come up because of like YouTube and things like that, because she's showing like social media and things. You're hearing from a lot of people in a very organic way. And she's saying, like, just sitting in their living room, she's saying, and they'll get people listening. And that's really what it's about. Yeah, it would be great if people earned a lot of money doing what they love, but sometimes it doesn't, it can take a while to energetically match, or it can take a while to get to that place where things are all sort of rolling along in that way. But in a way, they kind of lost the plot. It's like they've lost their way a little bit. So this is good that they're kind of going back to kind of organic ways to being heard and remembering what the arts are about, remembering what that it's about self-expression and people enjoying that self-expression. Hello, Janice. You were so young when you passed. Will you be coming back to Earth in reincarnation? Maybe in a while. Nothing's firm yet. This is a very interesting life, a success in many ways for what I went for, what I was going for, but also kind of turbulent and difficult. And I think I feel like what she's saying is when she goes back, she wants to have kind of smoothed out the edges and figured out kind of to have a similar kind of life, but with less edge to it. She's like, I can't give a date, but not too long. That's funny. Okay. What do you think about the current status of women in the U.S.? Do you feel that you had a positive impact on women with your emotional openness? She's saying it was a different time. It's so funny. Let me just explain something real quick. I'll start hearing them talk, and as they go on, I'm waiting for them to stop, but then they go on, and then I feel like I have to jump in and like remember what they just said and catch up. It's really funny how that happens, but I'll let her answer the question now. But it just reminded me that that's what happens sometimes. So I feel like I'm playing catch up. Okay. It was a different time for women, and I think a lot of women thought I was crazy. Or they thought she's crazy. But I didn't see myself in many of my songs, and songs that I liked. It would focus on the fact I'm a woman singing this song, but I didn't think of emotions that way belonging to a man or a woman. They were just emotions. It was just feelings. I just felt it. It didn't matter, am I a man or a woman? So much was, for me in this lifetime, was emotional feelings. And I didn't attribute that to men or women. It was just how I felt. I feel like I opened women up to another way a woman could be. And maybe they wouldn't do everything, but maybe something would open them up a little bit. You have to know it was a different time. There was still a lot of squares. Still a lot of squares. And the hippie movement was radical at the time. But those women might see something in me that would free them up a little bit, give them ideas, make them think differently. That's maybe was the way that I helped a lot of women. I want to hear all about Dick Cavett. Dick Cavett. Tell us about Dick Cavett. He was cool, but we were different. He was very buttoned up, and I wasn't. but we get along. I think he was a really smart guy. And he had a lot of good ideas. He'd push his guests. He wouldn't allow them to decide the interview. He pushed you into places maybe you didn't want to go or you didn't think about going. So in that way, I think if you went on his show, you were at a point you wanted to be expanded or stretched. You wanted to learn something even about yourself. Maybe even your fears. But he was a good guy and a really smart guy and great at what he did. Okay. Janice, how do you feel about being a member of the 27 Club, and are you close to any of its so-called members? Yeah, it's weird. It's funny. To us, it's funny. We do hang out. We do talk. Some were planned exits. Some were chosen. I think she's talking about like exit points. It is something we have in common in those particular lives. And we love that people recognize that, and they kind of formed this club because we think of ourselves that way. For other reasons too, but we love how it's almost like that people put that together, and that's how they think of them. And so they like that club. They like being in that club together, and they do hang out and they do laugh about it. So Janice, was your life as a singer in your soul contract, was it a more challenging life than you expected? As a singer in your soul contract. Yes, my blueprint. And things, in some ways, things went as planned, and in some ways a little bit off the rails. But a lot of things went as planned for my growth and understanding and helping others. There's a lot to it, and you'll understand more. But there are many different ways things could have gone, and I actually checked out a little early. I may have had a different ending had I stuck around. It would have been maybe a little simpler, a little easier, but I didn't stick around to find out. And I felt pretty beat up by the time I left. And when I stood up and said, well, that's it, and felt like it's time to go. But yeah, so yeah, I think that answered that question. So it was it was part of her blueprint. She said her blueprint. Who is the biggest feather in your cap? Who is the biggest feather in your cap? Have you seen all my feathers? He's standing right here. She's like, I'm going to keep you guessing. He's standing right here. Yeah, that's what he's saying. I hope that answered that question. She's funny. She's such a kick. Any interesting anecdotes about Threadgills in Austin, one of the first places you performed? Are you a muse for any up-and-coming singers in the Austin area? Interesting anecdotes about Threadgills in Austin. Okay, anything about that? Oh man, any performance in Texas was a journey. It's kind of like she's showing, like it was like this. It was up and down, and I feel like it was like emotionally up and down. It was like fear up and down. It was very challenging. But once I got moving, once the music was there for me, I was in. And I would think, how did I do this? How did I get here? It would shock me and thrill me every time. You muse for any muse. I'm sure I could be. Maybe I am. I don't think specifically me. Maybe a song here or there, an image, something like that. I'm not really, it's not really something like I keep track of, that kind of thing. But I do assist many female artists, musicians, writers, even like she's showing like playwrights or movie things and things like that. Female artists. Yeah, female artists. I hope that answered that. My favorite lyrics is freedom is just another word for nothing left to lose. What was going on in your life at that time? Have always loved your work. Thank you for all of it. Oh, Mariana. Or Marianne. Hi, Marianne. Okay. Yeah. I love that line too. I didn't write it, but I love it. For me, my freest I would feel is on stage, but surrounded by other people. I loved the communal feel of being a musician when it was communal. Everybody was involved. That I don't know if she's saying I never got to sing that song or that she didn't very often, but it's almost like I didn't get to feel that feeling with that song, like everybody around me, like singing it with everybody around me. But I don't know if she didn't very, very often get that feeling, or with this song, or she never got to sing it. If anybody knows, that would be good. But I feel like she either never got to like have that experience, like a concert experience with that song. That's interesting. Okay. It's the line of a committed hippie. Committed to the cause, committed to having just what you got with you, and that's it. There is a truth to things, items weighing you down in life. And it could be, and I feel like she's saying like there's many layers to that line, but that's one thing that she thinks of it as like a committed hippie. That line is for the committed hippie. It's so funny. Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. Do you have advice for coping with addiction? Now, yeah. Then, no. Clear. Yeah. Pinpointing why. Mine was numbing, forgetting. Pinpointing why it will help you to get to the cause and get to the root. There are lots of ways to go at addiction, but the one that would have helped me and spoken to me was getting to the root, getting to the pain, and what was still there that I was trying to push down or to numb. So much of my life was about emotions, and one thing about emotions is that they can't be just pushed down and forgotten. They have to be felt and dealt with, especially someone like she was. Yeah. Hi, Jan. I was wondering if you've heard from the so-called other side, our lovely Kim singing when she performed. Oh, thanks, Melody. What a great question. God, it's going to be embarrassing. Of course. She said, she sounds like an angel and I sound like the devil. We're very opposite. Yeah. She said it's beautiful. It's a beautiful expression. But she said anybody wanting to sing and choosing that method of expression is so beautiful. From the other side, when you see people expressing themselves that way, there is color, there is vibration, there is a magic that happens. So whether you think you sound great or you don't think you sound great, singing is a beautiful expression. It has so many layers to it that you just can't see here. You can feel a lot of it here, but you can't see it. You can't fully like take it all in, because it's just not really on some level it's available to us, but not like there. It's a completely full experience. I guess multifaceted kind of. Dear Janis, was your soulmate with you in this past lifetime? How was it when you reconnected on the spirit side? Thanks for the music. I had to leave him here. So it sounds like he was with her in her life here, but she passed. And so, but now he's there. And she said he had a pretty long life, and she was very, very happy to see him. And they've been through a lot together. The plan was for me to stay a little longer, but I thought it was best to go. He did great. He had a great life. Do you think you could have been as successful without the drug use? That's a great question, actually. Yeah, she likes that question too. She's thinking. Yes, if you'd asked me that here, I probably would have said no, because it helped me to let go sometimes when I was so wrapped up in my head, lost in my head. It almost sounds like she kind of had anxiety or something like that. But from here, I can see clearly that had I been able to move past that, I would have had such clarity on my life and problems and issues, and my writing would have been clearer. My voice would have held out. I feel like she felt like her voice was giving out when she passed, or around the time she passed, like it wasn't what it was. So from here, yes. From the spirit world, yes. Yes, she could have done so much more and better. But here, she would probably have said no, because it was what helped her to release her anxiety and kind of get out of her head so that she could do what she did. Janis, who helped you most with your music? Okay, yeah, it depends when. Early on, I had a lot of she's showing like artists and painters and more like that kind of art. So and they introduced me to blues. So, okay, go ahead. And so every band that I was in led me to a new phase, a new place that I could go with music. My first band, I know that is Big Brother and the Holding Company. Go ahead. Deserved a lot of credit because I I pushed my way in and they let me do it. And that really built my confidence. It got me realizing what I could do. It did affect my ego a bit, a lot. But I needed that to sort of build myself up to keep doing it. The truth is, I was hesitant. I was unsure, but I could lean on this persona. And so I think what she's saying too is that first band is when she kind of created Janis, and because that's what I'm getting is kind of after that she could kind of lean on that persona. Okay, all right, yeah. Janis, you say you learn from there how to sing when you incarnate. Is this to say that we can select and master completely fresh art forms prior to incarnating? Yes, of course. So many people prepare to come to, just like you would prepare the words of a play. You rehearse, you practice, and you try your very, very best to remember. A lot of the arts stick with you, and it's even more so if you've had a life, other lives prior that you've done that thing as well. She's saying it's like a security blanket, like taking a blanket with you. You know, it's part of your. It's like taking something from home, like taking something from the spirit realm with you when you're here. So she's saying yeah, go ahead. So these deep talents that seem to come from nowhere, they have been mastered over time. They have been not mastered. It's cultivated over time. She's also saying, she's showing me, because I have dreams that I can play the piano. Sometimes I can't play the piano in this life, but I have dreams all the time that I can. And she's saying when you have dreams like that, it's usually something you left there that you decided not to do there, but it's something you do there. So if you guys have dreams, you can do stuff really, really well, but you can't do it here. She's saying that's why, it's because you decided not to bring it with you or not to have it play a big part in this lifetime, but it's available to you. It was something you could do or have done. Hi, Kelly. Janis, who was your favorite artist to perform with? Very good. She's showing Tom Jones. She's showing Tom Jones. I had never before or since heard a voice like his. What an amazing, amazing singer. And it was important because it crossed like genres, I guess I want to say. It crossed genres. and I loved it. Whoops. Yeah. I guess that answers that. Now I'm gonna have to go look it up. I think I've seen that or heard that somewhere before. When she said that, it like kind of reminded me of that. But at the same time, that seems so weird. Such a weird pairing. But now I'm gonna have to look it up. Okay, so why don't I do this one and then do one more, and then we'll be done, if that's okay, Gina. Didn't Bette Midler play Janis in a movie about her life? The movie was named The Rose. Were you aware of this movie? Yeah. 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 I was. I know of it now, and at the time, it seems like at the time she was still kind of working through stuff, but she knew about it. She knew about it. She's saying it's very loose. It's very, so maybe loosely based, or it's very not exactly like her life, but it was, but definitely some of the inflections, I guess, in the voice, and some of the mannerisms, and definitely the sort of some of the hardships. And she thought she was amazing. And she's just saying in general, she really loves female singers and female performers and that kind of thing. She just does, yeah. Probably a kinship as well, you know. Janis, did you write a song about the one who's standing right there with you? She's being a little bit, she keeps looking at him. Yes. But more so I sang for him. So I think what she's saying is she did write songs for him, but more so the emotion in some of her singing came because of her relationship with him. That's kind of how I'm interpreting that. I'm kind of, as you can tell, I'm kind of losing my grip, so I'm getting as much as I can. I'm getting like an S name, something with an S. So maybe we'll be sleuths and we'll figure it out. But you know me with names, I'm not gonna go for it. Maybe at some point I will, but okay. Well, thank you. I'm gonna ask, I should always ask, and I don't. I'm gonna ask her if there's anything else she wants to say. She's saying that she can relate very much to this time. It's some of the themes are familiar. The only thing you're expected to do, I think she's saying like your higher self, or the only thing your spirit would expect you to do is be kind of the clearest, most authentic version of yourself possible. You will be so happy with yourself if you do. It's not easy. It's not always easy, but your soul will be over the moon. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. That was fascinating and funny too. She's kind of a kick. Kind of knew she would be. I can hear her laugh. You know. Seth Morgan. Is that who you think it is, Craig? Okay, interesting. Okay, that's an S name. I'll give you that. Yeah, I don't know that name. I don't know who that would be. she was, oh, wait. She was engaged to Seth Morgan at the time of her death. Did he live a lot longer than her? Did he pass away much later? Oh, I can hear Gina. I can see Gina nodding yes. Oh, that is fascinating. You guys are amazing. Super sleuths. That is awesome. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. I was even scared to say an S, but that's what I felt like. Okay, good. Thank you so much, you guys. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys being here and being on this journey with me. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Gina, for everything. I really appreciate you as always. Thanks, everybody. Hang in there. I put up a political thing if you want to go watch that. Some weird information coming through. It is weird times. And I will see all of you guys on Sunday for Let's Chat on Sunday, okay? Thank you, Gina. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.